I came to sort of meet with the Tesla team here and see customers. I always like to hear feedback and ideas and thoughts and comments from customers, and figure out where we need to do better and how we can make the car better, that sort of thing.
And what are they saying to you? What must improve on this car?
Well, I mean, I just arrived, so I'm going to talk to our customers in a moment.
Okay. But normally, what are the things they tell you?
Well, it varies from location to location, and generally people are pretty happy with the cars, and they're really enthusiastic. So I want to make sure that any small details that we can take care of. I mean, we want to be perfectionists and really make the car super good.
Okay, you take notes?
I don't take notes, but I can remember pretty much what people say.
Okay.
So but generally the response has been pretty good. I know there's a few charging issues, and we want to iron those out. And I think those are mostly taken care of, but we still have a few things we want to address. But generally the response I've gotten is that people are very excited and happy with the cars.
Okay, a 1200 they sold in the Netherlands, 1200, and it's a very popular car because it's beautiful, because it's electric and it can go very far, but it's also popular because of the tax benefits.
Right.
Do you think that helps Tesla?
Yeah, I think the tax benefits definitely help make the car more affordable, and I think the tax benefits, the reason for the tax benefits is to accelerate the advent of sustainable transport. So it's to serve as a catalyst to have it occur sooner than it would otherwise happen. And so I think that the tax benefits are a good thing. Obviously, they're not going to last forever.
Yeah. Would Tesla Motors be another company without those tax benefits? Would there be other sales numbers, you think?
Well, it's difficult to predict exactly what they'd be, but I think it's fair to say that things would certainly be a lot slower. So I think the tax benefits are doing what they're intended to do, which is to accelerate the advent of sustainable, clean transport. Like I said, otherwise we'd be moving a lot slower. And it's very important to the world that we move to sustainable, clean energy, both consumption and production.
Okay, yeah, this is the Model S.
Yeah.
It makes Tesla usually popular with regular guys as well, except from Roadster. There's a Model X coming next year, and in 3 years there will be a cheaper one. Tell me about that.
That will be a smaller car. It'll be 20% smaller, about half the price, not as many features. So if you think of like the Model S as similar to an Audi A7, A8 type of thing, then our third generation car would be more like a Audi A4.
A4, okay.
Yeah.
But still not for a very large public, because it's still an expensive car.
Yeah, we're talking about, in dollar terms, about $35,000 for the car. And that would be, but when you consider that relative to a gasoline car, because you save a lot more on gasoline, it's more like a $25,000 gasoline car. So that's what we're planning, but that's about 3 years out.
But you think the average Joe will buy that car already, or must it wait for another generation of Teslas?
I think that, yeah, the sweet spot in the market generally is around the mid-20s in US dollar terms. So it's maybe, if it's equivalent to buying a gasoline car at $25,000, it's the mainstream of the market. Yeah. But there's probably still another level to go to make it affordable to all.
All right.
But I mean, our goal is to try to make mass market affordable cars. That's been our goal from the beginning. So a lot of people wonder, well, why doesn't Tesla just make a mass market long range electric car right now? And the issue is that it takes time to refine the technology. It takes time to scale up production. So you need economies of scale. You need a major design iteration, and also the third generation car will be 20% smaller.
Yeah.
So that's essentially how we get to a 50% price reduction. 20% size decrease, factor of 10 production increase, and another design iteration to design for manufacturing.
And that takes time, obviously.
It does. But I think anyone who buys the Model S can take comfort, and I think something that's very important, which is they're helping pay for the mass market car. So all the money we get from the Model S and the X we pour into development of the third generation car. And I think
you don't make a dime of it.
Well, we don't issue dividends
No.
Or have big bonuses or anything. My salary is $1 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, but our goal from the beginning has been to make a compelling mass market car because that's what's needed for the world.
Yeah. But you keep comparing this car, the Tesla, with Audis and everything. Will it be comparable with the Nissan eventually as well?
Well, I don't know about Nissan.
Okay.
That's probably I wouldn't. That's not a target I'd aim for. But the I guess the point I'm trying to make is that if you do buy, let's say you buy sort of a Porsche or a Ferrari or something like that, you're not helping. Ferrari's not going to take the money they make and then ultimately make mass market cars. They're not going to help change the world in a positive way. What we're trying to do is change the world in a positive way. So I think if somebody buys this car, they can feel like, okay, they made a small difference.
It almost feels like charity you're doing.
I wouldn't say it's like charity, but there's a greater good.
Yeah. All right. So we get into the car.
Yeah, sure.
This car is now like 18 months old, a bit older, I think. The model? Since the mass production started?
Yeah, well, we only started production, about 18 months ago. But the way the production works is it starts off very slowly, and then it ramps up exponentially. So, and we've made a number of small improvements since the start of production.
Yeah. So
the software keeps updating as well.
Okay, because this was a year and a half ago you started. What is the one thing you would change with the next Model S? You know already, I'm going to change that.
Well, it's difficult for me to comment on that.
Okay.
But there are a number of things that, as we come out with an improvement, we just roll it into production. So unlike other car makers where they have these like annual model year things, as we make improvements, we just roll that into production. So for example, parking sensors or folding mirrors, things like that, new interior options. They just as soon as we're done with the engineering and design, we make it available on the website. Okay. So the car that one buys today actually has a lot more options, a lot more capabilities than the car of 18 months ago.
Okay, so you're evolving instead of revolutionary.
Exactly.
Every time model.
The car is under constant evolution. Yeah.
Okay. This car is not self-driving. There are companies making cars that are self-driving. When will the first Tesla be there that drives itself? You think?
Well,
is it the goal to make a self-driving Tesla?
We do want to have what we call an autopilot capability, and the way that we're approaching it is active safety in the limit. So we just keep adding sort of active safety features. And eventually you'd get to a self-driving fully automatic car. But I think that's, I think for it to be a true autopilot is probably a long time away because you have to eliminate these corner cases. So, because you have to say, well, how reliable does a car have to be if it's running on the computer? Probably 99.9999.
Yeah.
Like 6 nines.
You don't want any accidents with it. No.
Yeah, exactly. So what people are very good at doing is responding to unexpected situations. Computers are not good at doing that. So it'll be a long time before you could sort of get in a car, fall asleep, and then arrive at your destination. But I think one can do a lot before that, just like with an aircraft where you have an autopilot system, but you still have a pilot. I think that's how it'll be for, I don't know, at least another 10 years.
Okay. This car is very smart. It's almost a computer, they say. The iPhone on wheels, I hear a lot.
Yeah.
You also collect a lot of data with the cars. What do you do with the data you collect from your customers?
Well, we don't store any speed or position data.
Okay.
So the data they collect is really analytical data. So it's sort of like, let's say, if the car is detecting that maybe the motor is wearing out or the battery may need some work or something like that, then the car will report that there's a potential service challenge or something needs to be serviced. And the goal of that is to do preemptive servicing. So we want to service a part before it breaks, and rather than have a customer experience it.
Okay. How many times does that happen with a regular Tesla user that you get a sign from, hey, this car might break
Yeah, it
down?
happens quite a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, for example, we have a small auxiliary battery, and sometimes that we had a supplier issue where some of the small auxiliary batteries were nearing the end of life sooner than expected. So rather than wait for that small auxiliary battery to fail, the car will report to the service center that it needs to be replaced.
You get a message on the display?
It'll in some cases a message, in some cases it'll alert service, and then we'll call the customer and say, we think we should probably fix this thing on your car.
All right.
But that's the only data that we store, is basically, vehicle diagnostic stuff.
And the rest of privacy issues,
Yeah,
you
there's
say we don't have that.
Yeah, we've set it up so that even if there's a court order, we can't say, oh, where was this person on this date? We don't know.
You don't know. All right. The car is getting smarter and smarter, but the highways are still dumb, and the roads.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan for that as well, to make them a bit smarter as well?
I think fixing the roads that's a really difficult problem. It's not something. I mean, here in Netherlands, look, the roads are excellent. I should say. I mean, they may be dumb, but they look great.
They're still dumb, yeah. Pretty dumb.
I wish we had roads this good in Los Angeles. Our roads are terrible there, which is crazy for a car town.
Do you have ideas about that? How to make the road smarter and connect with the car? Maybe I don't know.
I think we're okay. I think it's probably going to work out fine to have the car to increase the intelligence of the car, and I mean, for roads, I was trying to think, like, maybe have a better signaling mechanism between cars and, say, stoplights.
Yeah.
Like sometimes traffic lights, and you can be sitting in a traffic
Induction?
light. There's no. Yeah, there is induction, but sometimes that's not as. You still have to wait.
Okay. Yeah.
But the induction definitely helps. But you don't you never want to be sitting in a traffic light and it's red, but the other direction is green when there's no cars.
Yes.
That's pretty annoying. That happens.
That's one thing you want to.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool thing to make better.
Okay.
Sure. And also like networked intelligence, to have the cars be able to communicate with each other for traffic information and that kind of thing.
That's more like the autopilot products as well, isn't it? It all involves that.
Yeah, I think if we can take, there's this whole sort of notion of crowdsourcing or networked intelligence between the fleets. So I think it'd be a cool thing for the cars to be able to share traffic data, so you get more accurate traffic speeds and that kind of thing, and be able to improve the navigation to take that into account.
Okay. How much of your time do you still spend on Tesla?
It's about half my time.
Half your time is Tesla.
Yeah.
And the rest are the other projects you have, or companies. You have SpaceX, for example.
Yeah.
Does technology from SpaceX come into Tesla cars? Is there an overlap?
Yeah.
Does it help each other?
Yeah. So, in the rocket business, we're used to dealing with very lightweight materials. So a lot of advanced aluminium, advanced joining techniques. New types of welding and bonding and that kind of thing, and that we employed that also in the Model S. So we applied rocket technology. Well, it's
rocket technology in the car or outside the car.
Well, essentially, it's the body and chassis is all aluminium, which is rare. Most cars are steel, or maybe they've got a little bit of aluminium, but in the Model S, it's all the whole body and chassis is aluminium. And
let's go outside. I want to show you one thing. I wanted to talk to you about the wheels, because the wheels are literally thousands of years old. Isn't it time to replace the wheels with something else?
You mean like a hover car or something?
I don't know. You come up
like
with you're the man with the ideas. I don't know.
Well, you got to roll somehow. It's either you roll or you're flying or you're rolling. So, that's maybe there will be flying cars one day.
Yeah, you hope so.
I think they probably will.
Thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you.